Okay, I don't like to play Sicilian, so I'm gonna try to avoid it, as I do every time I face someone playing Sicilian, and I will play the Gambi Moro. Okay, Caesar is pretty theoretical, so I'm just gonna play knight f3, and you're probably gonna play knight c6, I think. I know it's time to start thinking, because e6 is annoying. I prefer to play against black playing d6 in this opening. I think theoretically I should probably play my light square bishop, but I don't really know where. I don't want to play in b5 because you're gonna play a6 for free, and I don't want to trade right now. So I'm probably gonna just play my bishop in e2 or d3. I don't want to play it on c4 right now. I just want to rook as castle short as fast as possible to get my rook to column E or D maybe. I mean, I just sacrificed a pawn, so I need activity as fast as possible. Okay, this is pretty cool for me. I think in this situation, bishop b4 would have been more annoying. Because now you can only push your knight to f6. You can't really activate your knight on h6 because I'm gonna take with the bishop and destroy your castle, sorry. So I think I should probably play my bishop e4 to control the weak square on d6 and c7. I mean, no, if you activate your knight on f6, I can push on e5, but then you're gonna play knight h5, so I'm gonna have to play my bishop a second time. I don't know, maybe I can just let you rook and play my knight to b5 in order to take control of the d6 square and c7 square. Okay. I think it's a mistake. But I don't know if I should play knight b5 or just push e5. Knight b5 seems strong to me, because I don't know how you can defend your pawn one more time. Could eventually check with queen a5, which would be annoying for me. So maybe I'm just gonna castle for now. I mean, I want to play aggressive, but you're not going to castle right now, so I think I can castle this move and delay my attack. By the way, I should take care about my clock. Okay. So now I have to move my bishop, and the d5 square is now really weak. But if I play bishop e3, you're gonna probably play knight. I think I have no other option. I don't want to play knight I don't want to play my bishop in g3 because it's gonna be a bad bishop stuck behind your pawns. So I'm gonna play this. And if you activate your knight, I think I'm just gonna take the d5 square. Or maybe play queen b3 in order to activate the rook on the d file. I think d6 is the weakness I have to target right now. I think if you activate your knight, I'm just gonna play knight d5, because if you're taking the knight, I think it's fine for me. I'm gonna take back with the pawn, winning a tempo on the other knight, and after the knight is moving, if he's not going back to b8, I'm probably gonna play queen a4 check, and if you don't take my knight, I think he's in a great position here. Oops. This was a mistake, wasn't paying attention. So okay, now I'm 2 pawns behind. Okay. Well, that's really bad for me. I really needed this pawn. Um, I have not enough time to think. I'm gonna have to chase this bishop. He's pretty annoying on e4. Okay, you're going back, it's fine. Okay, now my bishop is hanging. I'm trying to see if there is any tactical option. I don't want to go back, so I'm gonna trade. And I'm gonna trade with the bishop. And I'm gonna play rook d1 after that, because you have to take with the queen. Which rook? I don't know, probably this one. If you rook, I'm just gonna pin the knight. I don't fear anything about your position right now, but I'm 2 pawns behind and I have no real strong attack, so maybe bishop b5 is fine. But you're gonna play bishop a2. I have to double my rook as soon as possible. And I have to take care about pushing e4, but you can't right now. Because if you push, I'm just gonna take the knight, and if you take with the queen, you're gonna lose the pawn, and if you take back with the pawn, I will maybe make something to attack your king, so e4 is not a danger right now. Okay, you want me to back, which seems like it. Okay, I'm probably gonna afraid if I go back and you push the e pawn, I will be there. And I will be stuck in a position I don't want, so I'm gonna trade. I have to take care about bishop f4, but actually my queen is controlling the force, so it's pretty fine. I would like you to play bishop e7, which seems more legit to me, and then I could double the rook on the d5 in order to push on the d6 pawn, and since your bishop will be in the a7, I will be in a nice position, but you go back. So I'm just gonna double the rooks. I should have taken the pawn, he was hanging, I didn't saw that. I have not time enough, I'm just playing as fast as I can. Okay, I need to find something. I need to be careful about the matting coming on my first column. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think I'm back in the game, but it's too fast. I think I'm gonna double my pawn because I don't want to be in a defensive situation. The a6 pawn is hanging, so... Oops. GG.
Alright, this was a really interesting game, you know?
It was a bit too fast for me.
Yeah, maybe. I saw... Before, I think I had some tactics to win one of your rooks, because your king was kind of in a bad rank. But now I'm gonna create an analysis for us to take a look at the game, right? So let's create a study here, and let's go there to take a look here. Okay, right. We're starting the game with e4, c5, and now you say, well, I don't like when people play c5, right? And that's nice.
Oh,
you know.
I don't dislike c5. I just want to play something else than the Sicilian. So it's not something. I'm not sad to play against someone playing c5, but I just don't want to play Sicilian.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? I would recommend you to study, if you do not want to get into the open Sicilian with like knight f3, d4, right? Something that I did for some time because I didn't want to get into so much theory and into so much stuff. I started to play knight f3, and after whatever, like maybe e6, against e6 is the most natural move probably, but against everything, like d6, knight c6, whatever, I started to play d3, knight d2, g3, bishop d2, and this is like a Keynesian attack, you know, it's a system.
It's like a call, an inversive call. I mean,
it's a system, you know. It's just
I know the system, but I think if I refuse to play classical Sicilian, I could play something else, like the system you're showing to me, but I don't think the Mora Gambit is bad, so I prefer playing this opener against Sicilian.
Yeah, the thing is that I've been out of chess for a while, right? So I forgot some of the lines of the Mora Gambit. So after e6, I didn't remember the lines, right? But here's the thing.
I played chess for 2 months now. I was playing when I was a child, and I stopped for 20 years, and I go back for 2 months.
Oh, you see?
So I'm pretty... What?
Oh, yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, so I pretty didn't knew anything about openers, so I just work about theoretical opener to have a response I know against every opener I can face. I'm playing e4 with white, and I learn a bit about d4, but I'm not playing at the Roman ranked. So, with the black, I played the Carrero against e4, and I played the Benoni against the Queen Gambit. So I just work a few openers to have something I know on every openers.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I don't know nothing about the Sicilian. I just look at some games, but I don't want to play those kinds of opponent when the black play on the queen side, and something I dislike. So
yeah, so okay, d4 is okay. It's just gambit. It's okay, but I think it's not the best way to proceed. Probably because the black pieces get equal more or less easily if my memory is not like failing me right now. C takes c4, c3, knight takes c3, e6. Probably here, knight f3, knight c6. I do not remember if bishop c4 is better, but I do believe that bishop c4 is better. You know, because it goes more with the spirit of the position here.
Bishop c4 for white, you mean?
Yeah, I don't remember if that's a move here, but I do believe that...
I don't think it's better. I think it's probably equal. I think the light square bishop on the e6 system can go to b5. I never tried e2. It's the first time I tried, but I don't like c4 and I don't like b5, so I'm trying something new.
Okay, because the things that here you said, and these are your words, it is time to think, you know, and it's move 5, and this is your answer against the Sicilian. Maybe you should have like a little bit more of theory here prepared to outplay your rivals who, like me, forgot the theory, you know. So
I think there is no special tricks on the e6 defense. I mean, if you have played d6, I would have played bishop c4, pretty theoretical, and I would have pushed e5. At this time of the opener, the theory is not clear. Even on the books I tried to look, even Stockfish is not even. If you go deeper, I mean, Stockfish changes way.
Nobody knows here.
I think it's equal. No one is better, just equal. And since you're a pretty better opponent, I think an aggressive move like bishop b5 wouldn't have allowed me to take an advantage in the opener. So I just focus on activating my chess, castle as fast as possible, and just try to get a good position in the mid game to compensate my pawn back.
Okay, perfect. Another thing that I'll say is that even though theory is not like, at least this is what you're saying, right? Even if theory is not like perfect here and you do not know what's the best way to proceed, because there are so many different lines, I would recommend you to stick with one, right? And to learn the plans of them, and to try to avoid to think in the move 5, right? Because then you waste a lot of time thinking, oh yeah, it's okay that if you do not know the theory, bishop e2 and castling seems like a lot of sense, right? And if you know it makes a lot of sense too. Maybe it's theoretical, I don't know, but just for you to know, I would recommend you to know a little bit more about these positions because a lot of people play Sicilians, right? So that then in your next games you can play faster and save some time for the end game and the middle game, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I play only 10+0, so.
Oh, right.
I mean, I have time to think, and so.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm pretty bad rated in blitz. I'm around 17, I think, and I'm 2000 in classical because I don't play blitz a lot. I'm a bit old, so I need time to think.
All right. I totally get you. It's okay if you play longer time controls. That's perfect. So nobody dies. Bishop e2, bishop e7 here. I was just trying to reveal up. Maybe knight f6 is the best move here. I don't remember.
I think knight b4 is the best. I mean, I said it while we were playing the game. I think the bishop b4 is better.
Okay.
And so I knew it was not optimal, and it was good to me because the knight can only go in f6, this one.
Oh, right. The idea is to play knight e7, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's better, but I think the knight often go to e7. So I was thinking about pushing right now to avoid the knight going out, and maybe it was the best way. I don't know. I think castle is good too here. So I just followed the plan and castle to activate my rook.
Yeah, because I have to be really careful with these kinds of moves here. And you pushing this pawn, bishop f4 is dangerous too. So I was kind of concerned here because I didn't remember the theory. And also you had you played fast until the move 4 and I was thinking, whoa, this guy knows his theory. I'm going to be in some trouble. So bishop f4, try to make some pressure here. Yeah, I agree with you. Maybe bishop b4 should be better. Just pinning the knight and trying to take more initiative, moving knight e7.
I mean, it's better, but I'm looking stockish right now, and he's considering the two moves. So bishop b4 or bishop. I have activated the 2 lines. He show you the 2 lines you can play.
Okay.
And if you don't play b4, I mean bishop e7 seems good, and the game is totally equal right now. So
perfect.
Probably not a mistake.
Yeah, I will ask you to turn off a stockfish. Because then we force ourselves to think even more, right? You can see the game with a stockfish after the analysis,
no problem.
So that we can think even more about the position. Because with a stockfish, it's kind of easier for us to take out.
I'm still thinking, but no problem. I deactivated. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, bishop f4. This sits here. Yeah, just to avoid something like e5 or knight b5, which might be annoying. Maybe there is a refutation for this e6 line. I'm not quite sure.
I think maybe I should have pushed the pawn right now. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe e5 makes sense, but if you play e5, I can play d5 and knight b5 and all this stuff.
Yeah, the problem, I didn't play e5 because if you push, my bishop is stuck, so I was waiting a bit.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if e5 here. Maybe even something like castling makes sense and your position is okay just as you did, right? Here you were thinking if you have to push, if you have to do something else here to play even more aggressively. And of course, as you're playing a gambit, you have to take a lot of initiative during the opening and be willing to take more risks, right? Because otherwise we get into an endgame and then you're losing.
Yeah, the problem is with the gambit mower, I have a lot of success when I was lower elo.
Okay.
And I went to a chess club recently for the first time in 30 years, and I play against the big player of the club, which is I think 2100 Fideo.
Okay.
So pretty strong, and I didn't find an advantage in the opener with the Gambit Mora, and he said to me, I mean, you don't need to win the game during the opener, and I think in this situation it's pretty clear because you got a pawn up, but I have a lot more activity, so maybe I don't need to go crazy and try to win just right now.
I think
that's why I play more a little bit aggressive because the position is still good for me.
Yeah, I think also you're playing like a blitz game here, right? So the less time we have, you might argue that it is good for you to try to complicate the position and to try to go to attack because there is not a lot of time to defend, right? Okay. So that's for longer time controls, I wouldn't recommend you to play the Mora Gambit because, you can like win your way up with the Mora Gambit, killing like lower rated players, but when you face like the big players as you did before, then it's harder for you to win this kind of position. I would recommend you to play something a little bit more quiet.
Hard, Okay, okay.
I mean, just a recommendation. I know that the gambit is quite pliable, but it's just a recommendation, right? In longer time controls, it might work as well, but in blitz, it is really good actually, because then you are basically putting a lot of pressure, and maybe people do not know the theory, and you can take advantage of that, right? So I think the gambit is okay. In longer time controls, I wouldn't play it, but it's perfect. So castling here, you said, well, I'm gonna castle because that seems to finish my development and all these things. You were thinking about something like bishop b5, I think, which might be annoying, you know? Bishop b5 might be annoying. Knight b5
yeah, but on
might be
bishop
annoying.
b5, you're just gonna play this. I mean, if I play this and you push here, I think the situation is bad for me. That's why I didn't play the bishop here.
Yeah,
because I don't want to give you a free kick on a6.
Yeah, it's just a move that we have to consider, right? Bishop b5 might be annoying. a6 maybe seems to refute that, right? Because strategically it seems like you do not want to trade this bishop here. Makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Also, if you go back, then I have maybe chances of playing b5. Knight d5 also seems dangerous. I'm not quite sure. Maybe Stockfish has something with it.
I wanted to play... I don't know what Stockfish say queen b3. I was thinking about it, but I was thinking about this move to make more pressure about the pawn. Right? And yeah, I didn't play it because of this move.
Yeah, so there are some moves that you have to consider. I think castling is okay, it's perfect here. Nothing extremely crazy yet, just finishing your development. Castling e5, bishop e3, knight f6, and here, something that surprises me was that you were saying knight e5, but you didn't see your pawn on e4, you know? And this is a mistake which I have been seeing a lot recently, right? It's
just a blunder. I didn't take in consideration my knight was defending the pawn, and I played too fast.
Yeah, so here maybe just a normal move, maybe queen b3 makes sense. Well, I have bishop e6, no? Maybe queen c2, rook c1,
no,
e1.
No, you don't have bishop e6 because I'm gonna take the
pawn. d7. Maybe rook b8. Rook e8, avoiding all tricks here. Bishop e6 might be a little bit annoying. So I guess queen c2 makes sense. Even queen e4 makes sense.
Yeah, I think I should have played queen b3, I think.
Queen b3 makes sense also. Yeah, everything makes sense here in this position for you.
Yeah.
I have to be really careful because...
no, knight d5 doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah. Knight d5 doesn't make a lot of sense here in this position. So you have to be extremely careful, right? Because if you play like knight d5, suddenly this pawn is falling, and I think your position is falling after that, right? Because then I just have to trade some pieces, and then I'll be winning the endgame.
I lost the game. I lost the game here, I think.
So you have many options here, because even though I have a pawn of advantage here, you have this pawn on d6, which is a debility, and you can try to exploit that. So knight d5, you can try to prepare it, you know?
I mean, I can still, you're right. Queen c2 makes sense in order to play knight d5, you're right. It was just a blunder from me because I didn't, so yeah, it was stupid, but,
yeah,
you know.
Queen c2 makes sense here. I will go for queen c2 maybe. Or, you know, maybe knight d4 might be a little bit annoying in the future too. For your position, but I'm not quite sure if I want to spend a tempo here.
This is something I lack of consideration in my game because I'm focused on my attacks, and I just deactivate against Stockfish, but Stockfish recommend this move right here because you're right, knight here is annoying, but this is something I didn't saw during the game. I didn't even consider to push the h pawn to avoid knight g4, so this is something I didn't see at all.
Here's the thing, right? I mean, usually the problem is that you're attacking, right? And if you're attacking, then you need pieces to attack with. If you do not have pieces, then your attack is not that effective. So, as the guy who is defending this position, because basically I have to finish my development, you're up in development, all your pieces are out, my bishop is still here, my king is on the center. So I want to castle and all these things. But if I get to trade pieces, then I am decreasing the pressure. And if you do not have that much pressure, then it is easier for me to play. But something like knight d4 here might work in terms that I am trading some pieces, but also I'm wasting more time, and that's something that I have to consider, right? This move is something that you have to consider. Maybe it's not that dangerous, because in the worst case scenario, if you do not want to trade my bishop for, like, your bishop for my knight, you can play like something on natural like bishop d2 and then push my knight away and come back.
Yeah.
Even though it loses many tempi.
Cost me two moves, so...
Yeah, it costs many tempi here, but I'm not quite sure. because
By the way, I mean, this move is costing a tempo equally because you're gonna you're gonna cast that for free. So
yeah, but you have to
I
consider that I am also wasting a tempo coming here and coming back,
yeah,
right?
you're right.
So
You're
that's
right.
something that you have to consider. Also, like let's say I play knight d4, maybe you can even play queen d2 and then try to even take more tempi, right? That's another way to play the position, like queen d2. Even though you do not want to trade pieces, that could be trying to do something, right? Because my bishop is still
You're
here,
right.
my king is here, so when I trade, your queen comes to e3, and then your rooks are up to attack. Of course,
You're right.
there are many things that we can consider. These are just like general ideas, but uh, also when I play knight g4, I'm wasting more time. So knight d5, mistake here because you're losing your pawn on e4, queen e4. I was looking for tricks here just in case because it seems kind of tricky to take on e4, right? Maybe queen a4 had something, so I was thinking a little bit about that here. Of course, you didn't consider this move, so that made some sense to take on e4 and punish that. So knight takes e4, queen a4, and knight f6. Of course, I'm coming back, and now see that I am trading pieces, right? I want to trade pieces because now I am 2 pawns up.
Yeah, and I can't afford to lose one more team pro. Yeah, so I'm just saying myself I will trade, and since the position seems to be open, I prefer to take your bishop away. So maybe my 2 bishop can do something. That's why I take the bishop and not the knight.
Yeah, that could be a good consideration here, but also maybe this move is more tricky, you know? Because now you're down material. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that move. I think you didn't, right?
No, and I even knowing this today, I don't think it's pretty good because I don't want to exchange the knight here to allow you to get a strong center. So
Sure,
that's why
but
I didn't.
but maybe you can increase the pressure here, like knight b4. Then when I defend,
And
you have bishop
bishop
b5,
b5, yeah.
right? So that's something that I was taking a look at. I thought that might
But
be a little
I
bit
think
dangerous.
it's not working because
It's probably not working, but it's like a move
you
that
can
was
take
there
here.
just to trick, right? Bishop takes d7, maybe queen takes b4. Yeah, it's probably not gonna work. Queen takes
Yeah, I
b4.
think I exchanged 2 pieces and I got nothing right here.
Yeah, you're right here. Yeah, that's probably not gonna fly. But you didn't see that
But
working,
but
right?
but I no, I didn't even saw that. I didn't even consider. You mean I say right now that it's not good because I just calculate right now the move, but I didn't even consider it.
Exactly. And here also you have to consider too that you're trading your knight for my bad bishop, even though in the future I may play d5 too. So
Yeah. I was considering this. This bishop was bad because stuck behind the pawn, but after my knight is going, the
yeah,
bishop can
I
actually
can
trade
push it
fast.
with
So
a5. Yeah,
that's why I consider it not to be really a bad bishop.
yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
So yeah, knight takes e7. I think it's okay. Something in this kinds of position when you are down some pawns, always try to trick the other guy. You know, at least at this level, we can try to trick.
yeah,
people,
okay.
You know.
So you mean knight b4 is probably not that good, but it gives me an option for you to make a blunder, right? This is the idea?
Yeah, that's something that I am saying here. Like, even though it's not good, you have to consider it because then you're tricking people. And also,
right.
I can picture like positions where moves like this one might give you some victories. You know, even also here I'm considering something like knight b6. You know.
Yeah, because you can't take with the pawn.
No, and you cannot take with your bishop. I mean, I was considering all these tricks here because
Okay.
it's kind of weird, you know. Something important. It might be a mistake. I don't know.
Yeah, but I didn't even consider it. You're right.
Exactly. So let's say rook b8 here, and suddenly this pawn, I don't know, might have some tricks after you take here.
Yeah,
You can take on
I
e7.
take here and you take, and I can take. No, I can't take the pawn right now.
Maybe with a bishop and then b6.
Maybe with the bishop, you're right. But I think this is pretty sick for me.
I'm not quite sure yet. You know.
But okay, no, you're right. I didn't even.
Just
think
consider
about
these things, right? Just try to consider the tricks. That's just the lesson here. Try to consider the tricks.
What goes into your mind when you? Because I mean, knight b6 doesn't seem a logical move for me. That's why I didn't even consider it. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, the better you get at chess, the better you are at like breaking the rules, you know? That's something that you have to consider too. Like, the better you are at chess, usually the less dogmas you have. And the reason why that is because then you can break the rules and try to make, like, of course, in logical ways, right?
Okay. I'm stacking right now because I'm not considering fancy move and I just blocking my mind, right?
Yeah, that probably should be. Even, I mean, in this position, the thing is that we do not have a lot of time, right? In this position, I was thinking about knight b6. I was thinking about taking on e7, on f6, knight b4, and knight b6. I thought about all these moves. And even...
I just consider...
Even right now, even right now I'm considering like bishop here. Like just out of the blue, right? Which doesn't seem like a natural move. But tactically that may exploit something in the future, right? Even though it's wrong, you have to consider it. Just
right, but
it seems horrible, you know?
It doesn't seem so horrible to me.
Yeah, probably you have queen d7, you know? Queen d7. And well, that will be a little advantage for you.
Yeah, no, queen d7 is not possible because you're gonna lose the rook.
Whoa, bishop d6 might be the answer, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you see? And I didn't see that one.
So Stockfish is saying to take. And I mean, I love my position, but Stockfish is saying I'm still down.
But whoa, I would prefer to be down in this position than in this one, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean...
Okay, I didn't even consider bishop going there.
No, I didn't consider bishop b6 either, but I consider knight b6. Now that I have some time to think, of course, this is a move that's coming to my mind because I see that c7 is kind of weak.
I want to be totally honest. Even in a 10 minutes game, I wouldn't have think about that move.
Oh yeah, that's something that, of course, in chess, there are two kinds of chess if you consider it. Like the classical chess in terms of, wow, see such a really cool move and this is so beautiful and you're creating such really beautiful combinations and this stuff, and you have blitz, and in blitz there's so many mistakes and stuff that you can try to take advantage of these things, right? So I think bishop d6, whoa, that was something that just came to my mind right now and might blow the position, right? If you play this I will be scared, you know?
Yeah, but if I sucked about this move in the game, I would probably not play it because it don't seem good to me. But if I have this move, I think I would have played it.
Yeah, that's a consideration, right? So I do believe that here in this position, that's just a little advice here. Bishop b6. Whoa. I mean, if you did that,
I mean, I have to be more tricky, right?
Yeah, if you did that, I will be like, whoa, really scared in this position because suddenly I have like a minute and a half, and whoa. Everything seems to be crumbling apart with knight c7. Of course, that might be equal or a little bit better for me. But even if that's a little bit better for me, it's hard.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
Stockfish says this position is better for white than this one. But I prefer to play this one.
Yeah, I prefer to play this one as well. No doubt. I prefer to play this position.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider, right? So let's go back to the game. Knight takes e7 was played, queen takes e7, nothing really crazy here. And I do not understand, like, why did you trade here on f6? If we said that... I think this move.
Yeah, I think it's bad, but in this position, I didn't consider this move when playing it. And when I was, when I was faced to a move I didn't prepare, I was thinking, okay, I can change or just go back, and if I go there, you're gonna push, I'm gonna go there, and okay, right now my bishop is stacked, I'm gonna...
Whoa, but see the difference here, right? You're 2 pawns down, and even if I play this, then I think you have more chances. And this is one more time thinking about tricks, you know? Which doesn't sound like cool, because people who are tricky doesn't sound cool in chess. But here, even if you trade if I trade my bishop for, if you trade your bishop for my knight in this position, now see that my king is more exposed, and then you might have more chances to trick me in the future. You might have more tactical chances. Now you have to take care of all these things here. My king might be not so secure, and I think I have more chances to make a mistake in this position if I take on g3 than in this one, you know? It's more or less the same thing that we were seeing before.
Right.
Like, if you trade right now with bishop takes f6, then it is too easy for me to play this position, right?
Yeah, okay.
So
You mean it's not probably better, but it's more likely to cause you to blunder?
yeah, you're getting my idea here, right? So that's like another paradigm to see chess. Of course, you might be thinking about, yeah, I have to make the best move all the time, but sometimes you want to make the move which kind of forces or which kind of makes the other guy to commit a mistake, at least in blitz, you know?
You're right.
So that's kind of tricky. So knight e7 here, bishop b5, and suddenly with bishop b5 doesn't look so good, right? After knight e7.
No, I think I should have played. I should have doubled the rook.
Yeah, probably. And also, well, I won't say that's like bad because you had just 27 seconds and everything was just kind of starting to crumble apart, right? So bishop b5 is a normal move in this kind of positions where we do not have a lot of time. Here I was making notes and it took me like some time to make the notes, right? Knight e7. I would have played usually this position much quicker, but here I was making the notes and stuff. And for example, I was thinking about what would you be thinking here. Other thing that you have to consider is that your bishop on b7 on b5 after I play knight e7 does nothing, you know?
Yeah, I was expecting you to play your bishop d7.
Yeah, but that's kind of helping you. So I didn't want to help you.
Yeah, you're right. But I didn't think you could have played this. I think my bishop is not so bad here because it's controlling the e8 square. But I think playing the rook here was better.
Yeah, I do believe that too. So knight e7, just coming back with my knight, bishop d6.
Okay, it was a mistake, maybe.
And now
I should have taken here now.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I saw that after playing my rook, and I said, oh gosh, I made a mistake. I think I can take the pawn right now.
Oh yeah, I made a blunder here. Maybe d5 was the best move. And then bishop e6. Yeah, a little blunder here. Didn't see that you were taking my pawn on d6. Because I was so concerned about moving this bishop and putting it out that I didn't think about that.
To get your rook together, yeah.
Yeah, and also I wanted to play d5. So probably here a little mistake and a little blunder here because I should have played d5.
For me.
Yeah. Also you have 15 seconds, so it's okay if you made a little mistake here. So d5, bishop d7, and now you're trading even more pieces, you know?
Yeah, it's again my problem. I mean, in this position, when I play my bishop here, it's my problem. I'm aware of this problem since, maybe a few days, and I don't even considering the fact you maybe refuse to trade. So in my head, this move was good if you trade, but I didn't consider you could play something else than trading the bishop. And no, I have to trade and I don't get a better situation though. I think it was bad, but it's because I don't, I have difficulties in English, sorry, but...
it's okay, it's okay.
In my mind, it was clear you had to take, and I wasn't considering the option of rook d8, which is, I think, better. And if I had considering you can play this, I wouldn't have played my bishop here.
Yeah, I mean, you're not forced to take in chess all the time, you know? So that's something important. Like, whenever you have some option to make a exchange, maybe sometimes the other guy is not going to take because he's going to force you to lose a tempo, because he wants to improve his position, because maybe if I wait for you to take my piece instead of I taking your piece, then my pawn structure gets better or something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
That's something to consider, right? Because it's not going to happen all the time. But I don't think you have to punish yourself here because you had 16 seconds, you know? I mean, it's not a lot of time to think. So I do believe that bishop d7 is not a good move because you're trading pieces and you're helping me. But it's not like the end of the world, right? So queen takes e6, nothing extremely crazy. Now this should be easy for me to win. But I committed a mistake here, I do believe. I'm not quite sure in this position actually, because I had 27 seconds. I was thinking about what you were thinking. I was thinking about maybe knight f4 and try to kill you or something weird like that. Maybe just rook e8 seems to make more sense, but then I'm losing this pawn here. So maybe I played this position improperly, you know, with knight g6. Yeah, I think knight g6 might have been a mistake. Probably here knight c6 makes more sense to avoid anything with knight e4, and then the position is almost over, right? So But knight d6 seems to me a little bit better at the moment because I wanted to play knight f4, and with my queen here on g4, then I will have had some chances of creating a net of mate and all these things, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that I was going to accomplish that. So knight d6, knight d4, queen g4, knight c6, maybe knight f4, even a little bit better. I'm not quite sure, but
I think if you play this,
what?
I'm gonna just push the pawn and.
Yeah, but even then, knight h3 check or something. Then I have some like knight g4, and I might be taking advantage of this.
Yeah,
squares,
okay,
right?
okay.
So it's just another thing. Like I could have been tricking you even more, right? Now I can see something like queen c4 check. Probably it's not going to work right now, but there are some possibilities, right? So knight rook d6, just losing the pawn. Knight takes. Rook c8. I don't know here. Like rook c8 here. I think you're losing a rook here because I can play rook c1, and I saw this just after I made the move. So rook c1 check, and what are you gonna do? You move, and then I have this check. Well, you have queen g3, right? No, like that's losing because I can take on d1. But maybe you like here check, and you have queen g3, right? But
yeah,
but I have queen takes e2.
Yeah, but I have check, and I take my queen.
Whoa, there was a lot of tactics here.
Yeah, but I think it was worse. You're right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Maybe I take f2, right? Because I saw this just after I made the move.
Yeah, I didn't know that move. It was good, right?
Yeah, I probably this move is better for me. So there's something to consider here. Then I was trying to make something similar, but it wasn't going to fly. Here in this position, this should be a draw, and then you play queen f3, which major mistake, you know. Major mistake in this position. Queen f3.
Why?
Because basically I'm playing something like this check here. I don't know. I don't like the idea of putting my queen in this situation, you know.
I mean, if you take the queen, I was thinking about taking the queen again, and it was a mistake. I was thinking you take, I take, and no, I'm fine.
But I don't know. Like for example, here I also, even if queen c1 check and you do not play like king h2, then you have to come back with your queen, I do believe.
Yeah, I think.
If you come back with your queen, then I'm taking this pawn.
Yeah.
And then I'm taking this pawn. So let's say like queen d1, queen takes here, and let's say you take here, I have like rook takes, or I have queen takes.
Yeah, I have to go back here, I think.
Yeah. And that's not so nice.
Anyway, the situation is worse, you're right.
Yeah. Probably rook d1 have some tactics, but I'm not quite sure here. Let me see. No, I have queen takes b2 and I'm defending my rook.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Even like, that's a worst case scenario. You have queen takes b2 and that's like, okay for me. So, queen f3, major mistake. You have to be really careful because there are so many checks and you're exposing yourself to the move of my rook. So it's dangerous, right? So, important to notice here, queen f3 mistake. Probably just play something normal and defend your position. Maybe queen d2 if you want to trade the queens, right? And it's alright, and your position is actually decent. I mean, this should be a draw.
Yeah, you're right.
Or
maybe
even it should be a little bit better for you because of this pawn on g6, which is kind of odd with my pawn on f7, and there I have a couple of debilities. I think that's not enough to win, but in blitz anything can happen. So it should be a draw, but you may win this position. Queen f3, queen c1. That's why I do not give like a lot of draws when I am playing a blitz, even though the position is equal. I won't give you a draw because I know that anyone can make a mistake. Of course, that's also exposing yourself to commit a mistake in the future.
Yeah, that was bad too. I should have played this.
Sure, and then lose his pawn and try to play this position, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's something to consider here. Also, you have like 13 seconds here in this position, so nothing extremely crazy yet. And that's basically what happened. Rook takes f3, blunder here, and then everything is like falling apart. This position is lost, right? So
yeah,
I like the game a lot actually because there were many tactics, there were many things which are happening. We talk a lot about tricks and what we should be thinking about in the position. That bishop b6 was really interesting, at least for me. Like I was like, whoa, bishop b6 is something dangerous, right?
Yeah, I think bishop b6 is really good.
Yeah, so those are basically some advices here. Like maybe you should try to think beyond, like at least in these time controls, right? Beyond the position right now and the logical moves, sometimes there are some illogical moves also. Of course, this is not a good advice for somebody like around 1300, you know? Because then they say, oh, look at this illogical move, it should have something. And then they just blunder all the pieces and then they lose. But I think you have a good level, because I see that you're 1600 on blitz, 2000 on classical, and I do believe that this is a good advice for you. If you're like a 1300 and you're listening to this, do not pay that much attention to those illogical moves, because oftentimes when you are like 1300 and you make these illogical moves, they are just illogical, right? There's not like
Right.
tactics
Right.
beyond them. But
Yeah, you're right.
that should be some advice here.
Yeah, I should open my mind to every move possible, take in consideration before just going to something else, because I just don't think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that should be nice for you. So I hope you enjoyed this class.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think it was a lot of fun, right? There was many things happening on the board. There were so many things happening on the board, actually. And I really like this game. It's one of my favorites to the moment. To be honest, yeah, it was really nice, actually. I like the...
Yeah, because I blunder on the 10th move. So
Yeah, I love that. I love when my opponents blunder so that I can win.
I have to say for Q in this moment, right?
Yeah. Extremely important, right?